course, we keep following the news about the new movies. This week we got stuff about the Ouija's sequel, as well as the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Where do you want to start? I'll let you choose.
I think we'll start with the one that has a trailer out now.
All right.
And if you haven't guessed, that is the Ouija movie.
That's right. Ouija 2, or as they're calling it, Ouija Origin of Evil.
Yes.
So they do have a full trailer. This is coming out in October, just a few months away, from directing, mostly because of that.
But let's be honest,
theme.
you're also probably like this. Not because you're
right.
scared, but because like, don't spoil it for me, don't spoil it for me.
Yeah, I do. I don't think this trailer gives too much away. I don't think there's
really? I think I got the entire movie there. I'm kidding.
Well, there was a few, I'm sure there's a few good scares that they put in that trailer, but anyway, I think it looks like it could be. I will bet $1 million it's going to be better than the first one. This one has more of a like possessed little girl angle to it also. It's a different kind of story. But just the look of the old Ouija box is cool. It makes it feel different, and it makes it feel like less of a cash grab because they're not showing you like, look, the latest Ouija game on the shelves, which I guess the last movie didn't do that either. I don't know. Anyway, don't see Ouija 2, but we will. And then Dungeons and Dragons. Some of this is kind of old news, but we're kind of lumping it in. I don't know how much we'll be able to speak to any of this, but we found out that frontrunner for lead cast member of the Dungeons and Dragons movie is Ansel Elgort. What's his name? Ansel Elgort.
Well, as you know, you have to actually show me a picture because I don't know actors.
You won't know him anyway. Okay. He was the main character in The Fault in Our Stars.
Oh.
I didn't see it. I don't know if you ever saw that.
The guy.
The guy, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, right?
So that's something. So that's interesting. That's a younger
I think that could
lead.
I think that could work. I mean, depends how it is. Because right now, I think what's interesting is I'm comparing it in my head to the World of Warcraft movie. Oh, sorry, not the Warcraft movie, not World of Warcraft.
Right.
Movie, in which I don't think we've discussed on the show, but you and I have discussed it and mentioned how, for us, actually one of the biggest faults in the movie was actually the human casting.
Right.
So, like, considering this is also the same kind of fantasy, I'm trying to picture.
For all we know, he'll be an orc.
That's true. Too.
I don't think he will, though.
But I'm like, maybe that could.
Yeah. Well, I honestly, maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I mean, it depends what character he is too. Like I said, that's why
he's gonna be Drizzt.
No, but I mean, like, is he supposed to be a paladin? Is he supposed to be a rogue? That kind of stuff, because like that's why we mentioned we felt like none of the characters fit whatever they were supposed to be.
Well, then a little more behind the scenes. Actually, this relates to Ouija too a little bit.
There will be a dragon.
The writer of this movie is the same writer who wrote The Conjuring 2 and the movie Orphan and Annabelle, which was a Conjuring 2 spin-off. And so that's interesting. So it will have that doesn't necessarily mean, I don't think that means it's going to be a horror movie, but that's where his experience seems to be.
Well, I think what's interesting there is we can, at least after you tell me, I haven't seen those movies. I think you have?
I've seen Conjuring 2, which I loved.
I think it's very likely what we're going to see is also with the casting you mentioned. This is all wild speculation. I feel like this is definitely going to be aiming towards a younger audience. Not like much older.
Huh.
But what I can imagine is we're going to get a dungeon that isn't going to be, like, the way the dungeon's going to work isn't going to play like Indiana Jones kind of, like, traps. But it's going to be, like, very dark. Things are going to be coming in and out of the shadows.
More like The Mummy. Well, that's sort of like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I guess. But my point is it's not going to be nearly as super adventurous. Like, it's going to have some very more dark sort of taking advantage of like things moving in the shadows and stuff.
Well, let me contradict that.
Oh, no, that's by all means.
Because now that's who's writing it. Here's who's directing it. I don't know if we've talked about it in the show. I don't think we have talked about it in the show, but I think we knew about this a while ago. Okay. God, what's his name?
I'm not going to say any more comments until you tell me.
His name's Rob Letterman. This is the last piece of news for the movie.
So I don't have to change my theory again.
Well, I think that is an interesting theory. I think that's sound. But the director is the guy who directed Goosebumps movie. Okay. Which we haven't seen, but I actually wanted to watch it. The movies that I have seen that he's done, that's where I get worried. He's directed Shark Tale, Monsters. animated.
Oh God, now I remember what that was.
Monsters vs. Aliens.
I saw that.
And after that, Gulliver's Travels with Jack Black.
Oh, I saw that too.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. How'd you like it? Okay. Well, Shark Tale and Monsters vs. Aliens are blah, blah for me. But I heard Goosebumps looked cool.
The way
Goosebumps is kind of ooky, kind of spooky.
I want to see Goosebumps too. I guess probably.
Yeah, it's on Netflix right now.
Right now, what it sounds like, which is a little bit more of a scarier theory now, in terms of not like horror, but
yeah, is
that they're covering all their bases. They're not really specifying. They're like, let's get the teen crowd here, the horror crowd here,
right?
Yeah. But I mean, he could pull it off. I mean, they got like you said, a good writer. Hopefully, the director, because the Goosebumps, maybe he came into his own in there, and that if any of his movies would relate to it, I think Goosebumps is the closest.
I just hope Jack Black shows up somewhere
my God,
as a dragon.
No, what if he's just in a small scene, just like going by as a knave or something?
It would be good. Well, Ouija comes out October. Dungeons & Dragons is still a year or two away, so we'll figure out how that all comes together when it comes together.